As part of our continuous effort to improve the quality of services being provided to Minnesotans, I wanted to today congratulate Commissioner of Education Cassellius and her staff at the Minnesota Department of Education, who have achieved a dramatic reduction in the volume of paperwork required of special education teachers. In several years now, I've been going around the state. The number one complaint I hear from special ed teachers is the volume of paperwork and how that much to do takes them away from their classrooms, takes them away from their students, interferes with their teaching. And so the two requests I made of the Commissioner in this interim and preparatory to the next legislative session were to reduce, one, the amount of paperwork for special education teachers, and number two was to reduce the amount of testing that's imposed on both teachers and students. So, Commissioner, I want to congratulate you. You can describe in better detail than I exactly what you've achieved here, but it's very, very well done, and it's an example of how we are going to be working to continuously improve the efficiency and the quality of the services we're providing to the people of Minnesota. Commissioner.
Well, I first want to thank the governor for his leadership in setting the expectation for all of us in his cabinet to deliver on better government for Minnesotans. It was his insistence on lessening this burden on our special ed teachers. Every time we've met, he'd say and remind me of this goal to reduce paperwork. I also want to thank Melissa Shaler, who's here by my side, past president of MACE, who brought this to our attention and said if we could reduce some paperwork with just the administrative paperwork, that would be a good place to start, and so that's where we started. So today I want to first thank the professional staff at the Minnesota Department of Education. We have many examples and ways we've changed over the past 2 years to improve services to our teachers and our schools. We want to go from an agency that is one of compliance and monitoring to one that is world-class in its strategic support to schools and to teachers. But today, let's highlight just one of our special ed divisions, compliance and support, led by Barb Case, who over the past year has worked to reduce administrative paperwork. As you can see, I don't think this one was showing. Over the past year, she's worked with the Total Special Education System Manual, which was this one, and she's taken this from a multi-hundred dollar was probably with copying, multi-hundred-page document and whittled it down to just 16 pages. We've also put it online so that it's easy to fill out and to submit onto district web pages. We hope to provide a recommendation for the governor for a total online process for our teachers too, later in this year, that we hope will help reduce teachers' paperwork even further. And what this means is that when teachers spend less time on paperwork, they have more time with students. And that's more quality interaction so that students have better outcomes. But that's not all. Our department also worked with the Office of Administrative Hearings to reduce the time it takes to resolve disputes from 114 days in 2010 to 69 days today. This is a 53% reduction in costs and a reduction in case time extension from 60% to 32%. Again, these are just a few of the changes we've made to the department to better serve Minnesota teachers and Minnesota kids. We know we can still do better, and we continue to strive for a world-class agency that supports a world-class system of public schools, and we know that that will absolutely help us close achievement gaps and help us continue to be the best we can for all Minnesotans. Thank you. Melissa?
Good morning. You know, we are thrilled, the Minnesota Administrators for Special Education, that the MDE did hear what we were asking for from the field, and that really is the reduction in paperwork. And the action to reduce the TSIS manual is big for us administratively. I was on the phone with Barbara about a week ago, asking her some questions as I worked on my TSIS manual. And I really felt that it couldn't be this easy, and it really has been to put it together. I have to say I worked on it last week, and I'm done with my manual. It's complete, and it'll be going on our webpage soon. So we really are thrilled, and we look forward to continuing to work with the department really to improve student outcomes for students who receive special education services. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're glad to respond to questions on this topic, and then I'll throw it open afterward.
Have special ed teachers had an opportunity to look at the new manual, and if so, what has been the response?
Districts, this just went online probably the beginning of September, and so I don't think a lot of special education teachers have been exposed to it at a high level because districts are pulling that together, but I expect in the next short while that will begin to roll out in districts across the state.
Yeah.
Estimate of how much time this is going to reduce for teachers?
Estimate how much time it will reduce?
I don't know how long it took previously to.
Yeah, the TSIS manual, the Total Special Education System manual, was something that was generally put together across the district, and many districts did it in many different ways. And I think, you know, if you look at, it used to be a summer project, and so it would take districts several hours, probably 40 hours for several people to put that together. I worked on this for about an hour on Friday, probably a half hour on Tuesday, and maybe another hour to finish it up. So it really is a big difference.
Can you tell us what was in the 279 pages versus what are you getting with it?
You know, I think that compliance and assistance would be able to do a better comparison than I, but really there was a lot of detail, a lot of citing of actual statute and rule in the original document, and that made it quite lengthy. Really what the total, we're calling it the skinny thesis, but what that really highlights is the areas that are required and really ask the district to make statements about and confirmations about what they're doing in those areas.
All right, well, thank you. Now they get to throw.